Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr, and this is episode 94, and it's part 3 of The Last Zombie Hunter. So if you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. And here we go. This is, of course, the zombie story that has Fred Stein, antiques dealer, successfully, so far, surviving a zombie apocalypse alone. In the last episode, he went to get water. When he came back, he found that someone was in his house. So, here we go. As important as it is to find out who is in my house, the first thing to do is to get away from the zombie. It comes at me at a run. They're not quite as fast as the living, but you do not want these guys after you. Jogging away is dangerous, as any stumble could have them on you, and since you can't easily outrun them, you may tire and get caught that way. This zombie had been an adult man, a little overweight, in the remains of a business suit. His skin was ragged in places, and he bled that weird blood that was technically red but dark almost to the point of being black. I didn't want to use my pistol. There were no other signs of zombies yet, and using my pistol would guarantee there would be. The zombie was starting to do that awful moan, but although that sound brings other zombies too, I don't think it carries as well. There is a thicket of trees behind me, and since I'm wearing my lightest clothing, I don't want to try to kill it. I want to trick it. I back up to the side of the thicket, then make sure it sees me. Then I duck behind the thicket. It's still a good 10 yards away when I do this, plenty of distance. With line of sight blocked, I duck into the middle of the thicket. There are some pretty high ferns here, and by crouching on the ground, I'm completely out of sight. The zombie comes around to where I was. Not able to see me, it more or less picks a direction at random. Maybe it hears something from there. Whatever, it's not me. I'm as quiet as I can be. I hear it moaning away until it's too quiet to hear. Time to be extra careful, though. I don't hear other zombies, but that doesn't mean that some aren't around. A lot of them are pretty quiet up until they see prey with their own eyes. So some could be coming to check things out because of the other one, and I wouldn't hear them. So I give it a minute, then make my way out of the ferns, on the side away from my house, probably closer to that zombie, but I figure he's out of sight. I'm already thinking of the other danger, whoever's in my house. I have small sight holes at every window, but make it so that it's nearly impossible to see in from the outside, so they could be watching me right now. I'm out of sight, but if they had ears, I'm sure they heard the zombie. If it were me, I'd be checking it out. Fortunately, what I want is on the other side of my house. I make my way around, the long way. There aren't trees in every direction from my house. There are a lot of buildings, so I have to give it some distance and be careful not to get caught somewhere without a good escape. Finally, I'm at the back of my house. The 2 rope ladders are on sides of a long upper-story deck that covers what is now the opposite side of the house from me. Earlier, I could tell they'd both been pulled up, but hopefully, whoever is up there hasn't found out about my third way up. My third way up is my emergency method. Remember, the whole bottom floor is boarded up, and even then, if you get inside, the staircase is blocked completely, so my rope ladders are my usual method. But what happens if I'm injured and can't pull myself up? Well, I've thought of that. Because this is for emergencies, it's designed to be single use, but also I spent some time hiding it, where I really didn't and couldn't with my ladders. There's a small deck I had installed on this side of the house. Why 2 upper-story decks? Well, there was already one before. That one faces the street and is above what used to be the entrance to my antique store. It had a fun Old West sort of feel to it, but I wanted another one, a bit more private. I don't get out a lot, and I just wanted a spot off my bedroom where I could sit and watch the stars and look at something other than a bunch of houses, a few businesses, and a block away, the Walgreens. Out back are a couple of houses, but a lot of nice trees. It's a pretty small deck, but it has a comfortable chair and a small table for drinks or a book. My emergency method is essentially an elevator. There's a weight, a bit over my weight even with the water jugs. It goes over a pulley and down to the ground. There's a small seat attached to the rope. It's flush to the ground. If I were badly injured, I wouldn't even need to be able to stand. After making my way to the seat, I look around one more time. There aren't any zombies around. This method isn't exactly super quiet. It wasn't intended to be. But with luck, I'll be able to use it and get inside and deal with whoever's in there. I'm not letting my place go. I don't know where else I could go. I wouldn't last long. I sit on the seat. The rope is hidden behind a pipe. I flick it out so it goes straight up. There is some slack, but I know it will not be an issue. I slide aboard and reveal a cleat. This is the only thing keeping the weight from dropping down. If nothing's on the seat, it would be quite a quick and probably damaging fall. But with me on it, it should go quite smoothly. I even added extra weight for items like my water jugs, which I have kept. Why? Well, partly because I don't want to have to go back for them, but mostly because the extra weight means the trip will be slower and probably quieter. I release the rope from the cleat, and the weight pulls the rope taut. I'm prepared for that and hang on with no problem. Then the weight smoothly and easily pulls me upward. The rope is of such a length that the weight hits the ground when the seat is at the top of the deck's railing. I pull myself off and slide the water jugs off my shoulders. I don't want them for what I'm going to do next. I snag my hidden key from above the door's head jamb and unlock the door as quietly as possible. I do it from the side since the door has a large window in it, which I did not board up. I pull out my pistol and open the door slowly. "Don't come in," a voice says from inside. "This is my home," I say. "I have no other way to live. I'm not leaving." "That's how I feel too," says the voice. I think it's a woman. "I don't want to kill a human," I say. I notice that there are some zombies now who have been attracted by the various noises. And I can't leave. Well, I can't leave either. "If I come in, are you going to shoot me? Will you make me?" "I don't want to, but you broke into my house. It was the only safe place I could find." "Where's your normal house?" "I don't have one. I've been moving from place to place whenever the coast was clear." "Really?" I think. Damn. Other than the guy I saw the other day who got eaten, you're practically the only human I've seen for weeks. And you've just been winging it, sneaking from place to place? "Yes. I've been staying as long as I can at each place, then leaving when I have to." "You haven't been chased down by mobs of zombies? How?" "I'm fast." "Okay." We were still talking to each other through the open door and around the wall. I was outside my own home, if you could even call it that, with flesh-eating corpses below me and an unknown person inside who might shoot me. And I became tired. Just tired. Tired of it all. I'd essentially been running, high on adrenaline, for all the weeks since Big Z shat on humanity. My patience didn't mean I was calm. Instead, I was breaking, and something inside me just said, enough. "My name's Fred Stein. I'm an antiques dealer. I own the shop on the first floor, which is all boarded up." "Don't tell me your name until you're ready, because right now I don't think I could even remember it." "I'm exhausted. I'm done. I'm not sure how you've managed to run so long, but I'm tired of the fear, of the paranoia. I'm putting my gun in its holster. I'm going to give you a minute to make up your mind. Then I'm going to come into my house. If you shoot me, I'll be done. I'm sure you're smart enough to make sure I don't rise up as a zombie. And at least I won't have to worry any longer." I sagged against the wall. I didn't count or anything. I just let some time pass. I couldn't have told if it was 20 seconds or 20 minutes. But eventually I got back up, said, "Okay," put my open hands where they would be visible to her, and walked through the open door. She didn't shoot. My eyes adjusted to the relative gloom. First thing I saw was a pistol, one of my pistols, pointed at me. The person holding it was young. She was maybe 12 or 13. She was brown-haired and skinny, although I didn't know if that was her normal size or if she had lost weight, as I had, in the rough weeks since Big Z. She was just another kid, or another teenager. If I'd seen her before, I don't think she would have even made an impression. "I'm Fred," I said, not knowing what else to say. "Mackenzie," she said. "Do you mind putting the gun down if you're not going to shoot me?" I asked. "If you're not trained?" I am, actually, she said. My dad liked guns. But you're using mine. I don't have any of my dad's, she said. When it all happened, I was at a friend's. I haven't even been able to get back home to see if they're among the lucky ones. Are you trained with your pistol? Yes and no, I said, as long as we're being honest. I took some lessons so I could get to know more about antique guns for me to sell, mostly muzzle loaders and old rifles, a few pistols, including flintlock pistols, but I've seen a few old Colts from the 19th century. But I'm not really an expert. Still, I learned gun safety, cleaning, and a few things like that. And some of the lessons had me on more modern guns. But I've shot way more since Big Z than before, and never at anything living, or moving, I corrected. Big Z, is that what you call Zombie Day? Mackenzie asked. And you call it Zombie Day? She shrugged. I thought of it as Zombie Day, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just had a lot of time to think since then, and one day Big Z just popped into my head. So I've called it that ever since. Though you're the first one I've said it to. I like Big Z fine. It fits. It did feel like a big ending. Yeah, it was. And that's the end of the episode for this week. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, CryptoBiography@gmail.com, or like I say, hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. And thanks for listening. See you next week. Words and music, copyright 2019, CryptoBiography LLC, all rights reserved. People and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.